Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Do Good Legacy podcast. I have yet another amazing guest here today, near and dear to my heart, someone I've known, and we all just realized, like before we press this record button, I should honestly have people jump on and like automatically press the record button because the magic happens when we are not recording. But we just realized that we have known each other since we went to Australia 2019, and we met on a trip in Australia 2019. We were speaking at the same conference it was April, May of that year.
Yep.
It was a marketing conference. What was the name of I think it was called the
It
marketing
was content marketing conference.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Content marketing. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. With the black and green logo. I remember.
Yes.
Yep. And you and I met. I actually remember that moment very clearly. We were sitting outside. That whole Australia trip was a whole
Girl, Australia was just, woo. I'm glad I met you. I'm glad I got something out of that trip. I met so many incredible people, to be honest. Like
Ashley Fox was there.
That's exactly who I was thinking about. I said, we met Ashley. We met, I'm forgetting so many names, but like
Alicia.
Cameron, Alicia, yes. We met
Yep.
so many incredible people. And yeah, no, I got so much to say about how we met and all of the things. And even actually, I'm going to just say this now.
Please.
I will never forget. So y'all, we not only did we meet in Australia, but then we like spoke at this event, the content marketing conference, and we co-taught a workshop together and did not know each other. Like that was, they just happened to partner us together. So we find out that we're co-partnered while we're at this trip in Australia that we didn't know each other on to start with. It was just this whole thing. And so literally, I will never forget this one question that was asked, because this was in April of 2019. So we co-taught a workshop on Instagram and Instagram content. And there was a guy in the audience and he's like, yeah, my kids are on all these apps. Like, how do you think businesses are going to use TikTok? I was like, what is TikTok?
I don't know. TikTok wasn't even there yet.
It was not a thing. It was only the parents. The parents were like, and I was like, I don't know, but I'm going to do research and figure out. And I just wish I would have done research then. It took me until 2020 to get on TikTok. Anywho, that's how long ago this was.
Yep. And here we are, 2025. But I remember we were outside, we were on a lunch break at this event, which we had to so we flew into Sydney, Australia. Then we had a 3-hour bus ride to Wollongong, which is like south of Sydney. And then we were in this college town where the conference and where we were working together, whatever. And we stepped outside for lunch. And I remember it was hot as balls and I'm sitting outside and you were with someone that I can't remember who you were walking with. And then I looked at you, you looked at me, and we were like, oh, Candace, blah, blah, blah. And then you were like, I know this is weird, but I think we're speaking at the same. And I remember being like, we are? And I was like, what? And you're like, content marketing. I was like, oh yeah, I'm speaking in Bay. Are you?
Yes.
So
it was the craziest, weirdest, divine alignment type of thing. Like, I'm glad our paths connected.
How did you get on that trip, by the way?
I got on the trip because of a friend who lived in New York, and her name is Cassandra. And she literally was like, basically she found out about the trip. It's for like people that are minorities or like, diverse audiences. Yep. You should see if you should apply. I think I was like the last applicant to get in. Like I was like,
I had a very similar story. I mean, it was a random follower who was like, hey, I have a boyfriend who works as like contracted for this company and they're looking for people with a community and they're looking for minorities. And I was like, what? And then she was like, it's a free trip to Australia now.
Free trip to Australia. That's why we all was on that trip, baby. We was like, oh, take me to Australia. I don't have to pay for anything. Just find my way to LA. Ha, say less.
Done. And I literally applied. And I knew when I applied, I was like, oh, I'm totally going to get it. Like, this is cat's in the bag. Like, we're ready to go. And it was such a last minute trip. Like, I literally found out maybe a week or two before I left.
Yeah. Me too. Like it all happened so quickly. It was like right around like I think my birthday. So it was around February, I think, that we went. So yeah, it was crazy.
We have the same birthday, Candace. Around the
same. Oh yeah, around I'm 16th, February 16th, and you're
I'm February 26th.
See, look. So crazy.
Then, so Candace and I, we see each other. We do this content marketing workshop together. We're both very early stages of our career. I think Candace, we were probably like 3 or 4 years in at that point.
Yeah. For me, I was like 2 years into full-time entrepreneurship. Because that was 2019. I quit my job in 2017. So yeah.
Yes. And I know that she was like looking for her footing. I was as well because I was transitioning from travel blogging to, business coach and mentor and like expanding in the education space and all that stuff. And we've obviously touched base through the years and we've seen each other here and there. And then I think we saw each other like 2 years ago, maybe. We went out to dinner in the city and we had a very long dinner. It was so fun.
It
And
was.
now you have to make it happen down here in Miami. But
Yes.
I really want you to share with people. So, guys, Candace is really good at curating community. If you have no idea who she is, in the show notes, we're going to add her Instagram and all the things. So, she's really good at curating community and having these amazing events. And it's just so timing because by the time you guys will listen to this episode, which will be Tuesday, I think the 20 something, my event is literally that Friday and Thursday. And I'm nervous as shit about this. And I literally, before we press record, I was like, Candace, how do you do this? Like she does these like maybe 6 times a year. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but like
Girl.
he does these all the time and they look like they're so much fun. And I'm like, you can't be having fun. This is like
I'm cracking up because what y'all don't know is the conversation before. That's why she said the magic happened before, because everything she was saying, I'm like, this is the plight of a woman who decides to host an event. Everything gonna go crazy. Random things are gonna happen. You just gotta be at peace with the outcome, like, and put your best foot forward. So yeah.
oh my god. But so
When
okay,
is
so
your event?
mine is the 25th, October 25th.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. Are
Perfect.
you in New
Perfect.
York? You should be in New York.
Wish I could be in New York. I feel like I have to be all like my schedule. Let's not talk about
Well,
that.
I
I'm gonna
gotta
be
book you
mad.
for 2026 because since
No,
since
for
I'm
real.
having
Like
such a great
I
time doing
went from
this.
I went from chilling, like literally to not having not an open weekend, not an open day. Like can't even one of my good friends in Dallas here, I've been trying to like get to dinner with her. And like it's a brand collaboration dinner. The dinner's free, like all the things. We just can't find a date that works for both of our schedules. It's like
Oh god.
it's just, but
Yep.
it's a beautiful life and rest is planned in there. So what was your question? I know I got to talk too.
Tell us how you started. So we do the content marketing. You're living in Chicago at this point because you're from Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
remember windy, cold Chicago.
Girl, yes. So a little bit about me. So I'm from Chicago, grew up in Chicago, went away to school to study mechanical engineering at Washington University in St. Louis. So I'm a uber nerd that always loved like all things beauty, cuteness. Like I was the girl that was in class with like my dress and my makeup on, and people would be looking at me like I'm crazy. Like you go into class and it's just a whole bunch of
For a beauty pageant.
men that didn't look like me. Like, so I'm like, I literally to this day I'm pretty sure in my 4 years at school, I'm the only straight woman
Yep.
that graduated from that straight black woman
I was gonna
that
say you're missing
graduated
straight black woman.
from
Yep.
straight black woman
Mhm.
that went through my program all 4 years. So that just tells you that I was like in there looking like this, but they're like, well, you're studying math. Anywho, so I studied engineering, but I always had this, brain that likes to think and I'm very analytical. And then I ended up getting my MBA, while I was in undergrad because I did a 3-2 program and that focused on marketing and accounting. But
Mm,
while I was in undergrad, I actually, ran my first official business. So when I was a kid, I
mhm.
used to braid everyone's hair. Like this hairstyle, I didn't do myself this time, but I can do it like I did it
I've
last
seen you.
time. Yeah,
Okay,
I've done
you
it by
guys, I don't
myself.
mean to cut you guys off. Go to her stories, and every once in a while, she's looking all disheveled and a hot mess, and then she's like, "Watch this," and she literally does the time lapse where she puts everything,
Yes.
all the braids, and you're just like, "How long does it take you? Like 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours?"
Ooh, every time I've done my hair, like, and for those of you guys who are listening, these are like boho braids, like boho knotless braids or whatever. They have taken, I just set aside 3 days and binge watch TV. So, like, I binge watch like the last season of You. And like, I just, because my back starts hurting and my fingers start hurting. So I'm like, let me sit down. So, whatever. But that's how I got started in entrepreneurship. As a kid, I would braid everyone's hair. In college, I learned how to do sew-ins and, add extensions into people's hair and all of that.
Yeah.
And so what that turned into was me actually starting my own. It's so crazy. I found out about Wix at an engineering conference. It's actually the craziest thing. So I
Wow.
learned how to build websites on Wix. Like this is like a crazy full circle thing, but like I learned how to build websites on Wix. So I
What
like
year
built
was this?
this had to be like 2010.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
this had to be maybe 2011, 2009, well, probably like 2010, 2012,
Okay.
in between those years. And I learned how to build my website on Wix. So I had like all of it was like my portfolio of everyone's hair that I had done. But
Mhm.
then I was like, I should start selling hair extensions. And so, long story short, launched a hair extensions company, had a big cartel website for
Wow.
it. If anybody remembers cartel back in the day before Shopify existed, I think, and pretty much was just had an e-commerce business for hair extensions. And so I was getting my MBA, studying engineering, and also on the side doing people's hair and,
And then selling the wigs or the extensions.
making four figures a month, like selling. Like, I didn't even know how successful I was at the time, because if I realized how successful that was, I would have just quit college and like doubled down and was like, let's do, like, if I
That's
knew what
right
I
here.
knew now. Right.
Yeah.
But that's where I got started with my start to Instagram marketing, to be honest, because I learned how to sell. And back then it's like, you did different strategies to be able to
Mhm.
get attention on Instagram, but I learned how to create content to sell things. And then that's pretty much, yeah,
And you guys, sorry, I don't mean to cut you guys.
yep, nope,
Instagram at this point was just a photo app.
yep,
So if memory serves me right, it was the quality of photos that you were delivering, the frequency, and then you couldn't even go live yet. Like it
no, you
wasn't
couldn't.
the thing that was happening was Snapchat had come out, right? So Snapchat was like the evolving, everyone was going live there. It's where you were like talking, where you started to talk to camera. I'm sure you use that too. But
Yep,
Instagram was where everything was like beautified and perfect. And it wasn't until 2015, 2016 that you can go live, that you
yep.
can share stories, all of those things. So you were teaching yourself from the very beginning how to tell a story via a photo.
Yeah, and how long ago it was is that, because we just more so use user generated content and
Mhm.
inspirational content of what
Yep.
we thought people would want to see,
Mhm.
and we were engaging with the right people online. So that was that. But how long ago it was is that Instagram didn't even have the DM feature. Like, you couldn't even send messages on DMs. That's how long ago
That's
it
true.
was. Because I remember when we finally launched out with our hair extensions company, we were looking for vendors. They were in our inbox and we didn't even know it. So it was just like this
Wow.
whole thing. Yeah, it was just this whole thing. And so, yeah, I had my hair extensions company, graduated in 2014, and essentially got a job in corporate America. Worked in corporate America for 3 years doing digital marketing technology consulting. I tried to like keep the hair extensions business going, but I didn't know, really how to manage the business while I was traveling Monday through Thursday. So, like, shipping and doing all that. So I was just like, all right, let's put this business down, whatever. And then in 2016, I started Epic Fab Girl, which is a community.
Yep.
Now it's a community for Christian women entrepreneurs. We help them build profitable brands and grow their faith. But it started as a blog, which we didn't know how to monetize it.
Hmm.
And we started with hosting events. Actually, like, the very first event that we hosted was through my extensions company, which was Fancy Extensions. And we were like, oh, we're going to have an epic tea party. So we had an epic tea party, and it was just to like inspire women and all of this stuff.
Really
And
cool.
then, like, when I decided to launch like a separate brand, I was like, oh, I think it should have the name Epic in it somewhere. And so that's where we did Epic Fab Girl. And now, what, 2018, we hosted our first conference, and for Christian women entrepreneurs. And
How
then
many
pretty
attendees
much
did you
ever
have
since
there?
then, mind blowing. We had over 200 people there, like, which is crazy as a first time conference. Like,
Oh,
we've never even
here I
outdone
am
that.
selling 50 tickets.
No, 50 is great. Like, 50,
Jesus.
that for me, that's a great number.
Yeah,
Like, I
it is.
love a
Yeah.
50,
200.
situation. Yeah, no. And what if I knew what I know now? Like, cuz we were like, "Oh, we're sold out." And then like people were like, "Dang, I wanted tickets." So we like sold out, but if I knew what I knew now, I would have kept selling tickets and figured it out. Like, I would have done something. But I'm like, "No, we have only this much spots." Anywho. But yeah, that's how I got started with like Epic Fab Girl. And then in 2018, so because I have a background in marketing and because people had seen me run businesses, they've always been asking like, oh, can you help me build my business? Can you do this? So I launched my marketing consulting company and agency in 2018. And
Mhm.
that was more so with like marketing consulting. And then in 2022, I kind of merged the worlds of Epic Fab Girl and the marketing company together. And so we
Mhm.
offered coaching to help women build their businesses, scale beyond six figures. And then now Epic Fab Girl still does that, but I'm more so on my agency side of things. We do like web design, branding, like brand strategy, like helping people actually execute on the ideas they have. So yeah, I do a lot.
Wow. I love that. I didn't know that. I think the last time we went to dinner, you were in the process of merging the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you going and still doing the agency side, this is new to me. I thought you were
Yeah,
just,
that's like new as of this year. Yep.
oh, that's amazing. So how's that going? Oh my God, running an agency is, yeah.
For those who didn't
Imagine
see,
watching
I
your
just did a slow blink. I was like, I
Mm,
mean, I love agency work
mm,
because I love to, I think as a coach, it's
yeah.
nice to be able to coach people and tell people what to do. And like, I give people such incredible strategy.
Hmm.
But I would say that most of my clients only ever implement about 70% of what I give them,
Always.
if that, if that, but it still be working for them,
Yeah.
but it's like, it's beautiful if I can pull it together for you the way that I envision it and that my
Right.
team can execute on that.
Right.
So I think, I love doing agency work because I love like helping people's visions and ideas come to life. And I love it from this aspect now because of the expertise I have as a brand strategist.
Yeah.
Like, I'm helping refine their messaging, providing all of their website copy. It's
Yeah.
much more intentional than it used to be for me, like just throwing stuff up there when
Hmm.
I first found out what Wix was. But now, really just working hand in hand, like literally later, that's the meeting I have next, is working with a client who does nonprofit work in
Awesome.
Ghana. And she is a
Wow.
woman from Chicago who literally goes to Ghana to give young girls period supplies
Wow.
for, yes, because yeah, it's amazing. That's why I'm like, I love to do this work, because it's like
Oh my God, that's
her
so
website
awesome.
did not look anything like what it needed to look like to tell the story.
Yeah.
And she does incredible work, because the number one reason that young girls in Ghana aren't able to go to school is because they don't have period supplies.
Yep.
And so she gives them period supplies, gives them money to go to school, pays for their scholarships, pays for their uniforms, does all of that. So I just love this type of work because I get to focus on mission focused organizations,
Mm,
and really help them get more funding, or help them, make more sales. And
yeah.
so I
Yeah.
like to be able to like do it for them, because it's like 9 times out of 10, y'all wasn't going to execute this the way that I thought. So it's just better
No.
if I
But
do it
it's
for
also,
you.
you have to remember, right? Like I think in I mean, I can relate to you 100%. I think that with my clients, yes, I can give them the strategy and I see the vision, but if I don't have my hand in the cake, they're not going to
Hmm.
execute the way I want them to.
Or if they only take a piece of the strategy and then they're like, oh, it doesn't work. It's like, because the strategy requires, that's like getting on a Ferris wheel and like being like the rotation device don't work. You just on the Ferris wheel. Yeah, it's not going to work if you don't have a motor attached to it, but continue.
Exactly. I love that analogy. I'm going to steal that. But yes, that's exactly it. I totally agree with you. I'm curious to hear, you are such an independent woman. You're super strong in your faith. How many times, and we talk about this in this podcast a lot, like when did you get to the point that you were 100% in on God? Because maybe
Ooh,
you know what I mean? Like when was that jump of like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to pivot? Because I remember watching you and it being marketing content, God, but marketing content, right? And now I watch
yeah.
you, it's like faith, Christian driven. You have a purpose. Even the way you're presenting yourself, like you guys are watching this, like she's glowing, she's gorgeous. And I've seen
Thank
Candace
you.
evolve through the years. There's something to be said about when she chose to be all in. And I'm curious to hear what happened. When did that happen?
Yeah. Oh, this is such a good thing. So, when I chose to be all in, so what's interesting is that you found me in 2019. So, that was like when I was starting to make the shift into marketing. But when I first started creating content, and I wasn't intentionally creating content, I was just like, had an Instagram account and wanted to inspire people.
Right.
I would talk about God all the time. Like, that's what all my posts would be about. It would be like, here's what God did in my life. Here's how God healed me. I went through all of this trauma, had dealt with all of this craziness when it came to men and abuse and like all of these things. And so I was open about that online
Mm-hmm.
on the front end. But I remember being like, okay, I'm not making any money. To be quite frank, I was just like, I knew that I wanted to help people. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
that's when I would start talking a lot about purpose and like finding God. And so by the time like 2019 rolled around, that was when I started to lean more heavily into the marketing and the business side of things and
Mm-hmm.
really lean into my expertise there. And then I don't know, I don't think you've followed Epic Fab Girl's Instagram page. I don't know, because at that point, that's when I kind of split things, right? Like
Mhm.
Epic Fab Girl was where I went super hard with faith, faith, faith. And then I
Yep.
kept marketing, marketing, marketing on my personal brand.
Yes, and now
So
it's the all in one. It's the same.
now, yes, now because I'm like, I'm hosting an event this Friday and it's called Collab and Content. It's talking about like, like how to create content, all that stuff. And one of the questions that everyone keeps asking is like, how do you find your niche and all of this stuff? And I personally believe that you are the niche, right?
Yes.
Because
Mhm.
it's like, I am the person that happens to be the Black woman who's bilingual, who's from Chicago, who picked up and moved to Mexico, who loves beauty, who loves math, who loves science, who loves God, who loves fashion, who loves to eat out. Like there's so many things, but that's like my life. And people will try to tell you like if you don't pick a niche, it'll be confusing. But it's
Yeah.
like, sure, Tabitha Brown created a niche in vegan content, but what we really care about is her personality. She's the thing that brings it all together. That's how
Right.
she was able to, launch a seasoning line. And that's how she was able to, have a TV show for kids and do like she is the niche. Like she
Yeah.
is the person that brings all these unique interests together. And so I feel like for me now, I'm showing up more often with bringing the thing that's most central to my life, which is God.
Mhm.
And, for me, I think to answer your question around like, when I decide to be all like locked in, I really decided back in 2014, and I will say this is that a journey with God is always going to take you deeper. So what you have witnessed is just an evolution of me going even deeper and me giving God a even deeper yes and a deeper level of surrender because like for me, been all in on God, and
Yeah.
then it's like you think you're all in on God until like God starts to show you like, oh, I want these things. I want that. And I'm like, okay, well, you can have that too. So now I'm even more surrendered. Oh, I want your money. Oh, okay, like you can have my money. Oh, I want your obedience even when money don't look right.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, okay, I got you too, but like I'm a little scared. I'm not going to like lie. Like, what do you mean? But okay, I got you. So
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like the thing that has got me kind of like deeper in God is like everything I go through, and I realize He's never left and that He's always providing. So I've
Yeah.
just kind of like, I go through so many things in life, and I always be telling like my therapist and like friends, like, I don't know what people do without belief in God. Like, that stresses me out
Yeah.
thinking about without God. And I specifically believe in Jesus Christ. I believe He is my savior. He died and rose again. Y'all don't gotta believe what I believe, but I just know that without God, like I don't know what I would do, like
Yeah.
honestly. And I think about, throughout my journey, even the year there's this one big part of my story where basically in 2019, yeah, at the end of that year that I like came to the end of me basically with conferences, rolling my eyes as I talk about this because I spent my very last on investing in my conference, and it
Yeah.
was September 2019. Long story
Yeah.
short, spent my last, ended up with my car repossessed. My parents had to help me get it back. And the launch that I did at the event, like, it didn't go the way that I thought. So I ended up with my car repossessed. And then the day after Christmas, I got a foreclosure notice on my home. So I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I'm freaking out, doing all this stuff. I was super depressed around that time of year. And then by January 2020, I went on this fast, prayed to God, asked the Lord, I'm like, Lord, I need you to rescue me from this ghetto situation. Please help me. I need to get out of this. But I also, like I need to know what to do next. And so
Yeah.
basically, God basically told me and to host a virtual summit. And so this was in January of 2020 that He told me to do this. We had hosted I know, crazy, crazy. Okay. The first time we ever hosted our first virtual summit was August of 2019.
Okay, wait, time out. I have so many questions though. Okay, you have
Girl,
to walk me through it. I want the details.
yes. Oh,
Anybody
I'm,
watching this, you guys know I love the details. Okay, so you're praying, you're crying. We've all been here. We've all been to
mm-hmm,
the point of like, what the fuck do I do? Right? I
mm-hmm,
can't tell you how many
yep,
times my bathroom floor is like my favorite place in the world.
yep, yep.
Like nothing warmer than a bathroom floor. When I'm a multimillionaire, I'm gonna put heating on my floors. Okay.
No, for real. Like, because
On my
hello.
bathroom floor.
No, that bathroom, because the Bible literally says, like, to spend time with God, to go into like your home, into the innermost room. And oftentimes, like, your bathroom or your closet is like your innermost room. So that's where I be spending time with the Lord. And I had a prayer closet at the time. And I remember just going in there and being like, okay, God. And I was like praying for multiple days or whatever on a fast. I was on a 21-day fast. And it wasn't like the idea just dropped while I was praying, like, oh, I'm praying, and then God gave me the answer. It was like I had this aha moment, and I'm like, oh, and it was like I clearly felt in my spirit, like, host a virtual summit. And I heard the Lord say, like, I want you to do it sooner than you did last year, because the year before that we hosted it in August 2019. We did it in partnership with Thinkific. It was like this whole thing.
Nice.
And now, because I had done it, I knew how to host a virtual summit, but I just kept hearing God be like, host it sooner than August. I'm like, okay. So I picked these dates, April 27th through May 1st. I always say that, it was crazy. And remember, y'all know when the pandemic happened, when COVID started popping out, it was like March 19th around that time. Remember, they were like,
March 14th,
yes,
New York City shut down. Yep.
And everybody and their mother was like, how long is this going to last? Do you remember how long they said it was going to last?
Yeah.
2 weeks. They said 2 weeks. So here I was panicking, even though I had already planned everything out, had already started pre-recording videos, had already started doing this stuff, and it's March. And I'm like, I think I need to hurry up and have this summit during, these first 2 weeks, because, people are going to start going outside after that. I'm freaking out. And then God is like, girl, just do what I told you. So April 27th through May 1st.
Wow.
I will never forget those dates. That's why they're etched in my brain. 2020, we were bored in the house and in the house bored. Everybody was so tired of that don't rush challenge where they were doing the little makeup thing. It's like, okay, you done cleaned every closet, you've reorganized every room. You don't got no more outfits. You look crazy. Your hair's not done. Your nails aren't done. Like, everything's bad. And George Floyd was still alive. That's where we were in time. And we had everyone's attention. So guess what? We didn't even run any ads. I wish I did. Bless God, I wish I ran an ad. We didn't even run any ads. From organic traffic, we literally got over. Now, the first time we hosted it, 1,200 women signed up. It was just crazy. It was 1,200 women signed up. And for us, we were glad, because we just wanted to build our email list. We're like, woohoo, built the email list. Over 4,500 women signed up for this free summit. And I was just like, oh, I'm going to do this free summit. In the last, literally, in the days leading up, girl, I'm so glad you said that, because literally in the days leading up, God was like, how are you going to monetize this? Meanwhile, I was just hosting a free summit, and I wasn't even thinking. I was like, how am I going to monetize it? What do you mean? So literally, I came up with this great idea to sell the replay and to monetize by selling what we already had. We had a membership. And so literally in a matter of 8 days, we made over $30,000.
Wow.
I was shunned, shocked, stunned, whatever the word is. I was that, because I was just like, all off of an idea and a concept that God told me to move on. Yeah. So that's why I'm locked in with God. When he tell me stuff, I be like, I'm not going to question it. And the last thing I'll say is, like, so I'm from Chicago. I moved to Dallas last October. Yeah. And October 15th is my anniversary of 1 year in Dallas. And yes, it's tomorrow. I know. I'm so excited. Yeah. So that's my anniversary. I'm really excited about it because, I was like, oh, I want to host a party or something, like, bring in all my girlfriends, whatever. But then I was like, no, I want to give back. So, let me do something. So I decided to host the event I told you about, called Collab and Content. And I was like, I want it to be completely free. I just want to make a content creator mixer for Christian women, for Christian women in Dallas. Yeah, girl, it's so crazy, because that's what everybody keeps saying. So literally, we're like, okay, let's host this event. But I'm like, I don't want to do it by myself. Like, I could do it by myself, but I want to partner with 2 other organizations. So I reached out to 2 other girls. I'm like, hey, here's my concept. We ended up collaborating on the event. Literally, we're in the final crunch. We had less than a month to pull this together, honestly. We announced on last Tuesday on Instagram. Now, mind you, we only had a certain limited spots. It's free. Everyone gets their free headshots. We're going to have a panel talking about content creation, all of this stuff. We post this online. In under 8 hours, we sold out all of the spots. So everything, literally, that, granted, is free. Yeah. But with free events, people don't always show up. But baby, we keep asking these people to let us know if they're not coming, and nobody's it's only a few people that is we not coming, and they're opening the emails and they're reading them. So I'm like, oh, y'all are coming. So
how many people are you expecting?
Okay, this is recorded, so it'll be after the fact. So we were only anticipating 100 people. So what we
Oh
typically
my God.
do at events, girl, what we typically do at events is that we know that, when it's a free event, people don't always show up.
Yep. Yep.
So we were only going to do 50%. So like we basically got 200 people to sign up, and it was happening so quickly. Now we have space in the space for people.
Yeah.
Everybody won't have a seat though, but now
Each other's
it's
house.
it's gonna be a packed house, and we ain't playing. So literally, we were watching. Like I was literally watching the email list to turn it off. I wanted to turn it off at like 160, so or like at 150.
This is a
I
good
look
idea.
up. It's 168.
Okay.
It's 168 people. I'm in the meeting with a client, and I like 2 minutes later click over, and it's at 2:15. I said, ma'am, I have to pause real quick. We got to turn this off. So I literally turned it off, put up a wait list. The wait list has over 200 people on it. Like, that's how insane it is.
Good problems to have. I wish
Good
you did this here. I hope you have a good video team.
Everyone keep asking. No, that's exactly what we're doing. Yeah. So, well, not to say that we're doing the video stuff. Yes.
Right.
I don't know what we're going to turn this into, but everyone keeps being like, I want to do it. Can you bring it to our city? Can we do it here? Can we do it here? And we've done tours before, but I need a sponsor, baby. Somebody, if you're listening and you're out there and you want to connect with content creators, hello. Yep. No, but seriously, that's we need partners to make this stuff happen. It worked in Dallas because Dallas is a great, fruitful place for this to happen. But
I've heard such good things about. I've only been to the airport. I never hung out.
No, Dallas is great. It's a good city.
I haven't been to Austin. I've heard great things about Austin. And Austin's like, what, 2 hours from Dallas?
I don't even know, but I love Austin because I work there a lot. So yeah, I feel like it's a pretty close distance. Like no less than 5, maybe.
Oh my God, you guys hear this? I asked you that question because we had somebody on this podcast a couple weeks ago, Mark Castro, and he used to be a pastor turned digital, course creator coach, and he works with Christians on building digital programs. And he's a good friend of mine. We've, known each other for like 2 years. And a year ago, he called me up and he was like, it's not working. Like, I haven't made money in 2 months. And like, I need, what do I do? And I'm like, well, I'll tell you what you're doing. You're selling 3 different things. I don't know what you're selling anymore. Just dial in on what you want to sell. And he was like, what? And I'm like, 1 product, 1 funnel. Like you have your program, keep the program, and just focus on who you want to help. The facets of what make you can share in stories, you can create whatever, but the majority, like 90% of your content,
the call to action needs to be the offer, like, the single offer.
All of it. And he was like, okay. Well, to fast forward, he's, a year later at almost $100,000 months, just like killing it. And he's a massive Christian community. And I asked him the same question. I was like, even you as a pastor, I said to him, I was like, what was that point? And he's like, you just kind of surrender. And I was like, and I wanted the details because everyone has the same story. I have the same story. In the moments that I've heard something come through, it's because I got really quiet and I sat with myself and there was no distractions. And I was not necessarily in the lowest point. I mean, technically I was in the lowest point looking at it, but the point of like, holy shit, what do I do? My hands are tied. Like, what is the answer? And it's like this subtle voice. It's not a scream. It's a whisper. And it's hard to listen to because most of the time that noise that you're hearing
chaos
is the ego. And it's like, how do you differentiate God from the ego? So I commend you for listening to him.
Yeah.
What's the vision? Where do you see it? And especially with everything happening now with AI, where we are in the industry, your agency, like where do you see communities going in 2026?
Oh, that's such a good question. I think that people love like online community, but their online communities starve our intrinsic need for physical community. Like we were built to live and exist in community. The Bible literally says it's not good for man to be alone. There's so many things in the Bible that talks about, and that's not just, yes, it references like, man and woman and marriage and all of that. But the Bible often talks about, like a friend is born for adversity. Like there's just so many things that we get in relationship with other people. That's literally what being on this planet is. Like, what would life be without relationships? You would be alone. Like you have a relationship with your boss, you have a relationship with your parents, you have a relationship with your kids, you have a relationship with your friends, you have a relationship with the person at the gas station that you have to pay. Like you speak to them, it's like, okay, right? And
Mhm.
so I think that, humans, we need community and we need more spaces where people meet. So I think that there's going to be a lot more spaces that are curated for people to gather and to like really connect, similar to kind of what we're doing with collab and content. I think for me with Epic Fab Girl, we are working to do a lot more in-person things. We've been
Mhm.
doing in-person events, but we are going to do them in a bit of a different and more strategic way. I'll say
Mhm.
that without giving away our big secrets. But like we really like people need community. Like that's why I think, everything's selling out so quick. Like, because it's like there's no barrier to entry, just come, right? And
Yeah.
people want to come and hang out and have authentic conversations and find like-minded people. Like that's something that people want.
Mhm.
And we saw that, when Facebook communities became a thing,
Yep.
to start, like that was huge.
Did you start
um
your Facebook communities? Did you start Epic Fab Girl in a Facebook communities?
we actually have a Facebook community, and I think our Facebook group has like maybe 8,000 or 10,000, like it's some crazy number of
Wow.
people in there. But again, it's like you have to be like consistently showing up to keep the engagement and stuff in there. But like I think people just really want in-person community because they just want to have like-minded connections and things like that. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you 100%. I think that the direction that's, especially with the growth of AI and like all of like replicate yourself and all things, and I'm not against it. Like I think it's kind of cool that I won't have to create content all the time and like it could be another
Yeah,
version of me.
I think
Um,
it's scary, but keep
Yes, I think
going.
it can be. I think it depends on where, there has to be boundaries, there has to be limitations. And I think the people that are going to stick out the most are the people that still have the curation and the community and the in-person stuff, because I think that's what
Yeah.
we want. You're absolutely right. It says it in the Bible. It's a scientifically proven, like, we as humans cannot survive without other
Yep.
people. Like, that's why
Yep.
you get married and you have a partner, you know?
Yep.
Um, that's why people like, it's sad to say, like even the elderly, when they lose their significant other, like
Yeah.
they almost die so quickly or they move on because they don't have that
Yeah.
person, right?
Yeah.
You've
So
been with
real.
somebody for 60, 70 years and now they're not there anymore, you know? And so I think there's something to be said about curating a community and keeping that.
I
Um,
agree.
yeah. Well, Candace, I know where you have to jump off. And so we usually end this podcast. First of all, thank you for being here. Always a pleasure. I
Of
love you, your
course.
beautiful smile.
Love
And
you too.
please
Thanks.
continue to spread your joy and your radiance. Like if anybody ever gets to meet her in person, when she walks into a room, she is a ball of sunshine. I swear to God. Can't
Thank
wait to see you and
you.
touch you. We end this podcast with a simple question of what you plan or how do you plan to impact the world?
Ooh.
So, what is your, I guess without sharing too much, because it looks like you got something in the works, give
Yeah.
us a little bit of a hint. Yes.
I'll give the little hint. So, how I plan to impact the world is just to continue to, be a light in dark places and, really create spaces for people to have authentic connections and really be themselves and push forward the ideas that they, are sitting on. Cause I think so many people sit on so many ideas and they never move on them for so many different reasons. And so, one of the things we're working on at Epic Fab Girl is launching out a physical space.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that because we've always been a 100% virtual business, like
Mhm.
in our operations, with the exception of like hosting events.
Mhm.
But now, like, we really want to have a space where, we can continue to bring community together and be intentional with that. So I'm really excited about that. So we're going to be
That's gonna
having a
be fun.
headquarters.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. Ooh, I love
Yes.
that. I love that. All right. Well, Candace, tell everybody where they can find you, where they can stalk you. We'll obviously put all your information. But please tell everybody where they can find you.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. You can connect with me at Candace Junée on Instagram. It's CandaceJunee. And then you'll find everything else there. Like you'll find my agency. And then if you're wanting to get connected with, like, we actually host a prayer call that we do every single Monday morning for Christian women entrepreneurs. And if you want to get plugged into that, you can just send me a DM letting me know that you want to get on that prayer call. And that's the best way to get plugged into our Epic Fab Girl community. So, yeah.
Yay! Thank you so much, guys. I have it. We'll have everything. We'll add everything in the show notes. Candace, thank you so much for being here, my love. And I will
Of
see you
course.
soon.
Thank you. See you.